Hello everyone, thank you for joining me again. So in this video, I want to demonstrate how you can use Azure Key Vault to secure your secret key and your certificate. So let's get into it. So when you get into all services, you can see your Key Vault there. So the first thing you do is to create your Key Vault. I have a subscription already here. Then I will take a resource group that I created before now. And I want to call this demo, let me see, staging vault. So let me call this staging vault. And I think it doesn't like a hyphen. So staging vault 1. Okay. So staging vault 01. I want it US East. I want it a standard tier. And days to retain deleted vault is 90 days. I think that's pretty much what I'm looking for. Then the other thing is a permission model. Is it a vault access policy or Azure role-based access control? So I want to use the vault policy, I don't want it to get, managed automatically by RBAC within the Entra ID. So here I want it to have access to all these guys. And yeah, so now, so I have this, and I can go next, and I can say enable public access. Yes, all networks, that is good for this purpose. Then the next thing is to validate and then create. So that is how to create a vault. So what does vault do? Vault allows you to manage your keys, to manage your secret, to manage your certificate in a more secure manner, instead of having them all dispersed across multiple env files, or maybe coded into some repos and stuff like that. So that is what Vault does. But my job here today is not to kind of come to talk about the thesis and the overview or whatever it is of Vault. I just want to show us, a practical demonstration of how to implement that within our environment. So now that it's created, if I go to my resources, yes, so here you will see that within it we have other object, we have keys, we have secret, and we have certificate. Right. So for instance, if I want to create a key under that vault, I can come here, I say import, I will generate, and the name is, I will call it STG, key. So I'll call it STG. RSA is good, and the key size is 2048 is good for this purpose. Then set expiring days, set admin starting date, you can do that, but for this, I don't want to do that, so it doesn't. Then if you want to make, if you have the right license, this will be enabled. That is where you will be able to say, okay, you want to make it exportable or immutable. So, but for this is all we got here. And then set key rotation policy. So here you can set your key rotation policies and say, okay, maybe you want it in maybe months. Maybe you want it in 13 months. You enable it automatically when it's 13 months. When it's maybe 11 months, you want it to be then add that, yes. So that is how to set a rotation key policy with that. So that being said, then this can be created. So then after we can create a secret. So you can almost the same format. Name is let me call it STG secret, and then you can set the password. Let me say the secret. Let me call it the secret value. You can pass it there, and you can content type, but set activation date. You can do that. Maybe you want it today. You don't want the expiration date. Then you can create your secret. Then on the certificate side, you can also create certificate. We'll call it STG set, and I will say self sign because I just want something I can control here, and I will call it STG. Yes, we say CN, okay, CN equals stg.com. So validity period 12 months. PK, this is a public key cryptographic service number 12. That is what I'll pick there. Automatically renew after when it's like maybe 90%. I'll make this 90%. Okay, 90%, good. So advanced policy, let me see if there is. So here you can do some advanced policy, but that is outside of what I want to show today. Then you create that. So you can see that you'll be able to create your objects, right? So so the other thing I want to say is how do we make use of it? So let me go to that. So the other thing I want to show us is let me go back a bit. You can go back to services. I just go to Key Vault. Here, if you click on your Key Vault, your vault, then access policy. So access policy, if you look at the access policy here, you can create it. You can look at, because I already did that, maybe I did not point it out, but I can say create policy here. And when I say is for key, secret, and certificate, you will see that this is what I currently have, right? So if I want more, these are the policies that I can enable here. I can enable everything and say next. And yes, it's for me, John. So whoever you want to inherit that. So application, if there's any application you want, I don't want a specific application right now. So you can just say next. You can review and create. So if you look at it here, we have almost the same thing that I did before, but I just want to point it out that that is how to configure your access, your policy access. I has to tell you what kind of access do you have when it comes to the secret, when it comes to the certificate, and when it comes to the to the key itself. Okay. So how do we make use of this? So let's get back to storage account, services, let's just, storage account here. So I think I have one here. I can just delete this so that I can start afresh. So if I want to create a new storage account, we know what storage account is. And so I can just give it a name. Let me say storage. Let me say my dot storage. Let's say demo stg vault. So let's use that. And I can say preferred storage type. So let me just say maybe blob standard. I think what I have there is good. Most of the things are here. You can just go there and do review and create. Yes. So when I create that, that is the storage account will be recreated. So it's taking some time. So when that is completed, so now we have that complete deployment is completed, and I can go to the resources. Yes. So now that I go to resources, I can go to encryption because that storage account is created, and the reason why I created that storage account is to show us how we can make use of our vault keys and certificates. So go to encryptions. So now here, what do you see? By default, is using Microsoft managed keys, but now you can change that to your own keys that you've created. So select key from vault. Use a system assigned. So let me select key from vault. Is a subscription. Is this? Then look at the vault. You can see my vault that I created. And if you look at it, the STD key I created is here. So now that is completed, I select it and I can save that. So that is simple and straightforward. That is how to use Vault, Azure Vault to create secrets and keys and maybe certificate. I use those in turns, to encrypt your object like a storage account. So thank you for that. And I will see you in the next one.